Good morning, dear students. How are you? I hope you are all fine. So, today we are going to read a chapter Tarot's Reward, that is from Honeysuckle, Class 6. It is a story of a thoughtful son. He was very thoughtful, he was very worried about his parents, he was very caring for his parents. So, let's see what is the story here. A young man, his name was Taro. He was a woodcutter, lived with his mother and father on a lonely hillside. All day long he chopped wood in the forest. Though he worked very hard, he earned very little. This money made him sad, for he was a thoughtful son and wanted to give his old parents everything they needed. So here we are knowing about Taro. Taro is a woodcutter, a very young woodcutter, not a very aged one. He was a young woodcutter and he was very cared about his mother and father, who lived on a lonely hillside. Lonely means there was not much homes, not house. He chopped, he cut wood in the forest whole day. He worked very hard, but the result was that he was earning very few money, very less money, and this made him very sad because it was not sufficient for them. One evening, when Taro and his parents were sitting in a corner of their hut, a strong wind began to blow. It whistled through the cracks of the hut, and everyone felt very cold. Suddenly, Taro's father said, "I wish I had a cup of shake. It would warm me and do my old heart good." So, one day, what happened? When everyone was sitting in a corner of their hut, a strong wind began to blow. And this strong wind, when it blew, it made a whistling sound. I hope you have heard this sound. It was making a whistling sound, and the wind was entering into the hut through the cracks, through the holes that were there. And when the cold wind was entering the hut, all were feeling very cold, especially Taro's father. He said then that he wished that he would have a cup of shake. Shake is a Japanese drink, okay, and it is a warm drink. It makes the body warm. So he was asking for a cup of shake, but he was also knowing that that shake was very expensive, very costly. This made Taro sadder than ever, for the heart-warming drink called shake was very expensive. How do I earn more money? He asked himself. How do I get a little shake of my poor old father? He decided to work harder than before. So what happened? When his father asked for the shake, Taro was more sad because he was feeling very worried. He was feeling very shame that which kind of son he is if he cannot fulfill his father's wish. But he was also knowing that the heartwarming drink called shake was very expensive, was very costly. So now he was thinking that how could he earn more and more money? And so he decided to work more harder. Next morning, Taro jumped out of bed earlier than usual and made his way to the forest. He chopped and cut as the sun climbed, and soon he was so warm that he had to take off his jacket. His mouth was dry and his face was wet with sweat. My poor old father, he thought, if only he was as warm as I. And with that, he began to chop even faster, thinking of the extra money he must earn to buy the shake to warm the old man's bones. So, Taro, to fulfill his father's wish, next morning waked up earlier than the usual time and he went to the forest to cut the wood because if he will go early then he could cut more and more wood. While he was cutting the wood, he felt very hot, and due to that, he opened his jacket and thought about his father that my father would also feel like hot as I am feeling. So, with this thinking, he again started chopping the wood even more faster. Then suddenly Taro stopped chopping. What was that sound he heard? Then suddenly Taro stopped chopping. What was that his sound he heard? Could it be? Could it possibly be rushing water? Taro could not remember ever seeing or hearing a rushing stream in that part of the forest. He was thirsty. The axe dropped out of his hands and he ran in the direction of the sound. So while he was chopping the wood, he heard a sound of a rushing water. When the water is moving, there is a sound of the moving of the water, gushing, rushing. So he heard, and till now he remembered that till now he didn't heard about that or ever seen that the forest is having any kind of river or a stream. So he just dropped the axe and ran to the direction of the sound. Taro saw a beautiful little waterfall hidden behind a rock. Kneeling at a place where the water flowed quietly, he cupped a little in his hands and put it to his lips. Was it water or was it sake? He tasted it again, and always it was the delicious sake instead of cold water. So when Taro went to that direction where the sound was coming, he saw a beautiful little waterfall that was hidden behind a rock. He went near to that, kneeled down, and collected some water in his little hands, as we do know when someone is giving something and we are just trying to take it. And then he put that water to his lips. He was in wonder, he was amazed. The taste was like a shake. So he thought that is it a shake or just it is my thought? Because I am thinking for the sake and sake. So might be the water is tasting like the shake. So he again tasted that delicious shake, and that was not the water. It was really shake. Taro quickly filled the pitcher he had with him and hurried home. The old man was delighted with the shake. After only one swallow of the liquid, he stopped shivering and did a little dance in the middle of the floor. So Taro knew that water is not the water, it is a shake. He filled the pitcher. Pitcher is a container made of the leather in which the water is kept, stored, and especially in the desert areas we are finding that. He had hurried home, so he filled the shake in his pitcher and went home hurriedly. The old man was delighted with the shake. When the father got that shake, he was very excited, he was very delighted. As soon as he swallowed one sip of the liquid, he stopped shivering. The cold has vanished, and with this happiness, the man started dancing in the middle of the floor. That afternoon, a neighbor stopped by for a visit. Taro's father politely offered her a cup of the shake. The lady drank it greedily and thanked the old man. Then Taro told her the story of the magic waterfall. Thanking them for the delicious drink, she left in a hurry. By nightfall, she had spread the story throughout the whole village. So it is a habit of the woman. Generally, everyone is telling that women cannot digest anything. So that afternoon, what happened? A neighbor, a woman, went to Taro's home, and as we uh, offer something to our guest, Taro's father offered a cup of shake to her. The lady drank that shake very greedily. Greedily means very what do you think? Something that we desired and that we have got, and thanked the old man. Taro told her the whole story of the magic waterfall. Knowing the story, she thanked Taro and his family and she went home. But what she did, she spread the story in the whole village. That evening, there was a long procession of visitors to the woodcutter's house. Each man heard the story of the waterfall and took a sip of the shake. In less than an hour, the pitcher was empty. So, as soon as that lady told the story, spread the story throughout the village, each and every member came to that Taro's house, and everyone heard the story of the waterfall, and everyone had a sip of shake because everyone wanted to have that shake. because it is a heartwarming drink, it is a very expensive drink, and it is very beneficial for the body. And giving, serving to all of them made the pitcher empty. Next morning, Taro started for work even earlier than the morning before. He carried with him the largest pitcher he owned, for he intended first of all to go to the waterfall. When he reached it, he found to his great surprise all his neighbors there. They were carrying pitchers, jars, buckets, anything they could find to hold the magic shake. Then one villager knelt and held his mouth under the waterfall to drink. He drank again and again, and then he shouted angrily, "Water? Nothing but water." Others also tried, but there was no shake, only cold water. So Taro has filled the pitcher and took his home, and also he served to all his villagers. The pitcher was empty, so the next morning Taro even wake up more early and went to the forest, and the biggest pitcher he was carrying with him. But when he reached to the forest near the waterfall, he was very surprised to see that whole village was standing over there, and they were carrying each and every biggest size of their container to store that shake. But one of the villagers, when he knelt and tasted the water, he was very angry because he found that the water is simply a plain water. There was no shake. So he shouted that and said that it is not any shake, it is a water. Others also tried, but all of them had found it that it was a cold water. "We have been tricked," shouted the villagers. "Where is Taro? Let us drown him in this waterfall." But Taro had been wise enough to slip behind a rock when he saw how things were going. He was nowhere to be found. So, when every villagers have found that waterfall is not giving shake, it is just giving a cold, plain water, everyone was very angry on Taro. They decided that Taro should be punished, and they decided to drown him. Drown him means they wanted to put Taro into the water of that waterfall, because they think that Taro has lied them. He has told lie. He has tricked them. He has told a false story. Taro had listened and watched everything, so he hid behind a rock and waited till everyone is gone from there. Muttering their anger and disappointment, the villagers left the place one by one. Taro came out from his hiding place. Was it true? He wondered. Was the shake a dream? Once more he caught a little liquid in his hand and put it to his lips. It was the same fine shake. To the thoughtful son, the magic waterfall gave the delicious shake. To everyone else, it gave only cold water. So everyone was very angry on Taro. They decided to give him punishment, but Taro was not there. So muttering their anger, muttering means whispering, giving bad languages, using bad languages, scolding, muttering. The sound was not clear. They went off that place, and when all of them left the place, Taro came to that place, to that waterfall, and he thought that is it true that it is not a shake? Or yesterday whatever happened to me, was it a dream to me? He caught a little liquid in his hand and again put it to his lips. It was a fine shake, it was not the water. So, here what is the meaning? The waterfall was also knowing that the villagers were selfish. They were not thinking for their parents, they were not thinking for anyone others, they were just thinking for their own. So, waterfall just gave them plain water. But when Taro, a boy, a man, a young woodcutter who was very thoughtful, who was very worried, who was very careful about his parents, caring about his parents, was accepted by the waterfall, and that waterfall gave him the delicious shake. The story of Taro and his magic waterfall reached the Emperor of Japan. He sent for the young woodcutter and rewarded him with 20 pieces of gold for having been so good and kind. Then he named the most beautiful fountain in the city after Taro. This said the emperor was to encourage all the children to honor and obey their parents. So, the story of Taro and the magic waterfall was reached to the ears of Emperor of Japan. As this story is belonging to Japan only, he called for the young woodcutter, and when Taro went there, he was rewarded with 20 pieces of gold. 20 pieces of gold was a very expensive gift that time, and the reason for that was he was very good and kind person. Also, the emperor named the most beautiful fountain. Fountain, I hope you are knowing from where the water is coming. You can see in the park or any biggest places. So, the beautiful fountain was named after Taro. The reason was that each and every child in his town, in his area, in his kingdom should know about Taro and should become as good, as kind, as caring as Taro is, so that when they will grow up, they will also become like Taro. They will honor their parents, they will obey their parents, they will always take care of their parents. So, students, I hope that you have come to this story, you have understood the story, and the moral of the story is that we should be very kind, we should be unselfish, we should be very careful towards our parents, the parents who have given birth, who are working very hard for us now. So, when they will become old, it's our duty to take care of them. We should not leave them alone. Okay? Thank you.